So Julian Stephen, you are a rapper turned producer. You have your own show now called Appropriate Culture. So what is the message or the meaning behind appropriate culture?
Well, for me, I'm a solution-based person. I think with this, my approach was, most people want to say, you took this from us, and it could have easily been a conversation about all the things that are appropriated in this in this society. But for me, I focus more on where we are now, how we are now. Oftentimes we overlook like the small little nuances. Like, yeah, we deal with a lot of racial and politically driven issues, but underneath that, we're just regular people. We wake up, we brush our teeth, we like wipe our ass. I think there's just so many undertones to the way we live our life, like that gets overlooked because it's just so much, like so many topics that need to be addressed, so many issues that need to be confronted. So for me, I'm always thinking about the solution versus like the problem. So I think season 2 is gonna symbolize the show, the title, a whole lot more.
Okay.
Because the title came about like in between like the scripts and everything, but it's just like I wanted it to mean something for everybody like involved in the show. So I think it's only gonna get bigger with the name as the show progresses.
Okay, I'm glad you explained that, because for me, I was watching it and I was like, I don't really get where exactly the title fits in with the show. Like I really love the show, the content, the jokes.
But it's also a double entendre. It's appropriate. It could also be appropriate. So it's just like open for interpretation. You know, like episode 2, it touches on hypermasculinity, like me being conflicted because my girlfriend beat me in a video game.
One of my favorite characters actually is your dad.
Okay. You know, that's him though. Like, he's an actor. He's got the history. He's got the background. So for him, me writing for him, like, it's my father. Like, my dad. I gave him the script. Like, yo, can you do this real quick? He's like, yeah, I got you.
I have like a similar relationship with my mom in the sense of like how the advice is given, and I feel like I always have the funniest conversations with my parents. So that's all I was saying. I love your dad, and especially like in the first episode when he was like giving you advice about, you know, how to go about dating a woman and taking her out on a budget. I thought it was hilarious.
It's like really good. It's like bad good advice. Like that's his like thing in the show. Like he gives like this really bad good advice. It's like if you really listen to what he's saying, like it could help you, but it's just like he gives that tough love, and I think like that's like what people gravitate towards.
Also, when it comes to the show, you have a lot of influence when it comes to like 90s sitcoms and culture. So for you, like why was that so important to put into the sitcom?
I think there needs to be a platform that showcases like the new energy, like the people of the future, the people that have their own platforms, that have their own personalities. I think there needs to be a place for us to just come and just like unite and then just be ourselves on this show. So for people that don't know any of these people, you get to see them in a different light. You know, there's a lot of people that came onto the show that have never acted before, but they did a tremendous job because they're just full of so much light and so much good energy. And it just, for me, I just wanted to be like the liaison. Like, let me write something that just is like inclusive to like all of us. It's not just about me. Like I could have easily just made the show like about me, but it's like it fulfills my heart. I don't even need to be in it. It'll fill my heart up to just shoot it and have everybody involved, and me being behind the camera making sure it's like it looks good. And that's like where like the executive producer mindset comes into play, because it's like I could have easily just continued to like drop album and album, but like I had to set the ego aside and be like, you know what, like I got this. What is that? Ava DuVernay, what she say? She's like, if your dream is just about you, your dream is too small. It's not big enough. Yeah, and that's like, it hit me like, and for me, it was just like, I couldn't hold on to it anymore. I knew I was able to just bring people together and do something dope. So I just was like, nah, let me just do this first.
And is that like kind of the energy that you feel when you do watch 90s sitcoms?
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's definitely like 90s sitcoms like Living Single, Martin, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Like it's always about like, it's always a family feel to it, a good energy.
Yeah, like, you know, just it feels good when you just see like Queen Latifah go from a movie to a show, or Will Smith go from the show to like his music, and everybody's just working together. Like, I don't know what it was behind the scenes, but for us to just see that, that like camaraderie, like we grew up with that. You know what I mean? Like, what are we growing up with now? We growing up with reality shows. That's divisive, first and foremost. Like, we're seeing women in like a very dense light, like, you know what I mean?
Very true.
We're not seeing them in like multiple roles, like whereas Living Single she was like the chief editor, the lawyer, you know what I mean? Why that doesn't exist for us anymore, especially in the narrative form.
Yeah, very
true. Especially in the narrative. Then you have like, if it is like a narrative, it's melodramatic.
Let's talk a little more about your new soundtrack that's coming out for season 1 called Restart Continue. And so what's the meaning behind that name?
Well, for me, it was kind of just like reprogramming like the mind, getting back into the rhythm of just like, it's kind of like restarting like the heartbeat of just releasing music as like a full body of work. I haven't released a full body of work in a while. So for me, it's like very personal, and in terms of just titling it that, I think it's just like a statement of where I am as a man. You know, sometimes people think it's like you quit or you just keep going. So it's like you have two options: either you're gonna start over, or you're gonna keep going. And basically, it's a merging of doing both. So Restart Continue.
What's your favorite song off of the track, off of the album?
Rendezvous.
Rendezvous?
Yeah, okay. Rendezvous. It's like the theme song to the show too. Like the first sound that you hear, you know what I mean? It's like that song.
The intro song?
Yeah. I made a song to that sound, that beat. So I'm excited to like, people gonna be, oh, that's the, so that's why you're gonna be, it's like the soundtrack. Cause like the credits of every episode features like a song from me. So all of those songs will be on the project, in like addition to like 5 more.
Nice. All right, so thank you so much for coming in the studio today.
Thank you.
Giving me a little bit of your time.